welcome back to another episode of Examining Life. My name is Amanda, and today I'm back in Boston Common, and today's question is, would life be meaningless if we could live forever? So who am I speaking with today?
My name is Samson Richopi, and I'm a volunteer and activist. I'm actually here seeing how well the trash cleanup was over the rally this week. I was volunteering here all weekend. That's what brought me on here.
Okay, cool. Would life be meaningless if we could live forever?
So that's what brought me over here. I saw you were holding a sign that said that.
Yeah.
And my first thought was, how do we know that we don't live forever already?
Mm-hmm.
I'm very much into philosophy. It's one of my majors at Suffolk University.
Cool.
And so we were just talking about this in class this morning.
Yeah.
How would we know that we don't have like some sort of conscious existence,
Right.
even though our physical bodies may not be here anymore?
Right.
Like, boom, a meteor hits us right
Yeah.
now. We both physically die, but
Yeah.
how do we know that our consciousness doesn't automatically pick up in
Mm.
some other physical incarnation
Yeah.
immediately without
Yeah.
any sort of recollection that just happened?
Right. No, absolutely. So that kind of brings in a bunch of different questions. Is your mind located in your brain or not in your brain? So, because I feel like that would tie into like your mind not being in your brain. Because if it is, then given that your brain functions are no longer functioning, then even your consciousness would be dead. But if your mind is located outside of your brain, then it could, in theory, live on forever. So yeah, would you say that would be your stance
Well,
on?
it's funny because even the way that we think, in terms of I, right?
Yeah.
I have possessions, right? And
right.
and so what is this I, and
Yeah.
and who is actually possessing these things if it's all me?
Right.
And me is this different idea of I. So what is
Yeah.
it? Well, in a way, and it's like who is the I that's doing the observing that
Right.
says that's somehow separate? It's like I and me are somehow separate. I hope that makes sense.
Yeah.
But it's like the
Okay.
it's who is the observer, and then we start
Right.
saying, well, am I a body with a soul, or
Mhm.
is there a spirit? Does a soul even exist? And if that's the case, then how are we supposed to perceive our reality?
Yeah.
Is it that we're all physical beings and that we're part of some universal consciousness, or a god or something?
Right.
Or
right.
are we just, is this just all haphazard here by accident, and it's just some weird primordial
Coincidence.
soup that we came out of? And I don't think it's that way. I think that we're all very interconnected.
Oh, okay, fascinating. So tying in like epistemology to this, so like how do we know like if our spirit can live on forever, or like is there a way of like concretely knowing that?
I don't think that there is a real way of concretely knowing that, but this is something I very much love thinking about.
Yeah.
If we get into the nature of existence itself,
Mhm.
right? Logically, everything that we see around us
Yeah.
has been put here by some sort of process, right? We can
Okay.
reverse engineer how we got here today.
Okay.
There's a series of steps that brought us both into each other's sphere, right?
Yeah.
And if through science and observations we keep on doing that, we keep on going further back in time,
Yeah.
we could talk about how the Earth formed. That's kind of like the idea as to why I believe in a higher power.
Okay.
Now, in order for there to be creation, there has
Yeah.
to be some sort of creator, kind of logically.
Okay.
But that doesn't necessarily justify some of the terrible things that we see with religion and beliefs
Right.
these days.
Yeah.
Just because there's like creator doesn't imply that there's somebody judging me constantly. It's just like it's
Yeah.
this beautiful thing.
Yeah.
And if we were all coagulated down into this single big bang, whatever it was that we want to call it,
Right.
then the matter that consists of me and the matter that consists of you, we were all one
Yeah.
at that one point in time during creation.
Yeah.
What does that say for consciousness, though?
Right.
At what point does consciousness come into play in this?
Right.
And how is it that even though our physical matter was once the same,
Yeah.
how do we account for our differences in individuality and consciousness altogether? It's really wild.
Yeah, it is.
One other observation about God, right?
Mhm.
Now imagine, this is very maybe egotistical, but imagine you were God, right?
Okay.
And you consisted of everything in existence,
Yeah.
right? All matter,
Yeah.
all consciousness, everything
Yeah.
was you.
Yeah.
And you're just sitting in a room all by yourself alone, right? It
Uh-huh.
would be incredibly boring. if you ask me, because you know everything that's going to happen. You know
Right.
everything that happened already.
Yeah.
So what if you want to create an environment where you,
Mhm.
this creator,
Yeah.
can live your own experience, your own creation over and over and over again,
Yeah.
to learn and to actually interact with yourself in some way through these individual consciousnesses.
That would be kind of cool.
It's almost like if God created everything, we are an extension of that God. It's not that we're separate from it. We are that creation. Everything
Yeah.
that we're surrounded by is the creation by whatever this higher power is. We're a part of that. And we're kind of like feeding into its experience and, making God no longer be as bored as he or she is, I guess.
So is that kind of like a more Emersonian take on spirituality, or would you say that that's like what you would believe in? In transcendentalism, from my understanding of it, was kind of similar to what you just described, where we have like a God inside of us kind of thing, but like everything in nature and humans being part of nature does.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, I believe that everything is going to be, that we are connected with everything. There are some people who believe that animals have a different kind of consciousness level than humans do.
Okay.
So, like, we have domain over the animals. We're
Okay.
somehow better than
Yeah.
them because we're humans.
Okay.
I don't really agree with that.
Yeah.
I believe that, like, even this grass here is an extension of the creation that we all enjoy.
Yeah.
Now, it's not necessarily immoral for me to pick that grass,
Yeah.
but it is worthy of being grass.
Yeah.
And it may have some sort of consciousness that we can't comprehend because
Yeah.
we're not grass. We'll never be able to experience grass.
Right.
But it may be something to be said that all the grass that exists on this planet has some sort of interconnectedness to it for
Yeah.
whatever reason.
Right. If by nothing else other than the commonality of it being grass.
Right.
So, yeah.
Somebody was, and I don't know how true it is, but somebody was telling me about this certain kind of muck,
Oh.
mud or muck,
Yeah.
that has been scientifically determined to have a form of consciousness to it. So we're talking about dirt and mud
Huh.
that is in the ground.
Yeah.
It's been discovered somewhere. I haven't been able to Google it yet, but I want to look into it.
Wow. That's fascinating.
You might want to look into it too.
Yeah. Well,
So-
thank you very much.
Certainly, I